Happy Victory Monday in the city of Charlotte. The Carolina Panthers defeat the New Orleans Saints 23-22. Happy Victory Monday, and happy Monday to everybody else as well. Welcome to Unlocked with Key and BB. This is another beautiful week ahead. We're now into the second week of what has officially become a wagon. We're going to get into all of exactly why right after this. But BB, how are we feeling on this fine Victory Monday for the Carolina Panthers?
I'd like to say we're pretty pumped up on this Victory Monday. It doesn't happen often. We get to celebrate a Panthers win. Week 2 of Unlocked. Fired up. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go ahead and get straight into it, because we got Dennis Allen fired.
Yes, sir.
We got Derek Carr in shambles. We got Michael Thomas crying on Twitter. We've got plenty of Saints fans crying on Twitter as well. And you know what? I love to see it, because the Saints, I'm going to be completely honest, are my least favorite team in the entire league. Cam Jordan crying on Twitter, BB. This has been one heck of a Victory Monday so far. And I got to be honest, the Carolina Panthers looked quite splendid. They looked quite splendid yesterday here in Charlotte at home. And apparently the stadium was erupting a couple times after some big plays. That Chuba Hubbard touchdown was beyond electric. I was at the Fremore Tavern right up the street. Chuba goes in the end zone. That place went buck wild. I've never been more ecstatic in my entire life, man. I love it. The other reason.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we'll get back. We're not done talking Carolina Panthers. Yeah. But before we do that, we have to get into another reason why this show has officially become a wagon. And what we're going to do is we're going to review the group lay that we put in on Friday afternoon. Everybody from our friend group, all members of this show, decided, you know what, let's put in one leg and let's see what we can do in terms of a crew. And here's the official review of that parlay. Cash it all the way out. Baltimore Ravens -9. They thumped the Broncos. The Indiana Hoosiers also smashed their opponent. 47-10. Ohio State beats Penn State. Bijan Robinson almost cleared his total in the first half. Robinson, friend of the show, our very first guest on this show for the very first touchdown for Appalachian State. And BB, you said it best to him. What did you tell him on last Monday again?
I said it seems the box has been a little bit locked this year for you, but coming on Unlocked, it will be unlocked. And that's exactly what happened. First possession for the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Who scores? Mr. Caden Robinson. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. And
it was nice. He also told us, listen, if I get in that end zone, man, I'm going to have y'all boys rolling. And I'm going to be honest, he had me rolling with his touchdown celebration. As a matter of fact, here is Caden Robinson's very first touchdown of the 2024 season, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Mountaineers break the ice first here at the Rock.
Outstanding protection.
Here we go, Caden. He had the people rolling. Caden Robinson going deep, end zone on his head top. Caden Robinson. Let's go. You love to see it from Caden Robinson. That play had me absolutely lit. And then I was geeking. He didn't lie to us. And what a play by Caden Robinson. Only solidifies his name as an NFL prospect. BB, how would you feel about getting Caden Robinson maybe just a couple of hours down south in Carolina?
I think we do need one more receiver. We got Thielen, but he's on and off with injuries. We got Coker, we got X. I think we need one more playmaker in the wide receiver room, and maybe a late round pick. I'm not really sure what his draft grade is, but I would take Caden, Charlotte. Why not?
I think he's been balling. We have to review the Unlocked group parlay one more time, because we were having a little bit of technical difficulties at the start. But here we are. But what the?
Here, I got you. There we go.
There we go. Baltimore Ravens -9. Cash. Indiana Hoosiers. Cash. Ohio State moneyline. Cash. Bijan over. Cash. Caden Robinson first touchdown. Cash. State +3. Count up that cash. and the group play from Unlocked gets real surgical. And this is going to be a wagon moving forward. Thank you guys so much for partaking. I hope you trailed. Because you might have been able to pay your rent. If you did, I told you guys that's how this is going to go every single week with the boys. And BB, your pick, I don't really think that there was no chance that they lost that game, right? Ohio State balled against Penn State. And I mean, I get it. The score was pretty close, but Ohio State kind of ran that game from the start, right?
I think it shouldn't even have been as close as it was. They fumbled through the end zone for a touchback. And then we also had a pick six to start the game for Penn State, which another member of the show, Max LaCroix, who was also in on the group play, sent a text probably 30 to 45 seconds into the Ohio State game and said, "Yep, our group play is chalked." And hate to hear that, Max. Need a little more faith out of you next time. But in fact, it was not chalked. And in fact, it cashed.
And in fact, it was I'm gonna be honest, the whole way it just kind of felt like it was meant to be. Maybe we've been blessed by the old man up above. I don't know how he feels about cashing out parlays, but he touched us this week, and that is no doubt because the Hoosiers absolutely demolish their opponent. The Baltimore Ravens demolished their opponent, the Denver Broncos. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's seeming like Lamar Jackson's going to be trancing and trotting his way all the way to another MVP. And I believe that, the whole way, Kate Robinson, first touchdown score, that was a no doubter. Apparently, this was an electric parlay. We appreciate everybody for coming on and tuning in with us. Maxie's Mortal Lock also hits this week. Max is now 3-0. He's now 3-0 on his Mortal Locks, and he says that he puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into every single one of his Mortal Locks. He does not pass Mortal Locks out like candy. BB, did you have any doubt about the Bijan Robinson over 100 yards rushing and receiving this week?
I'm not going to lie. Whenever he got the yard that it went over, he was at 101 yards, and Max sent the text, Bijan. I was like, oh, no. He's going to jinx it. This guy's going to catch a screen pass for -4. But then literally the very next play, he catches a little angle route, takes it for 35, 40 yards, and it was just it was pure celebration at that point because you went and checked the Ravens score. It was already 31-10, 41-10, something like that already. So we were cashing.
I mean, it was happening the whole way, dude. It could have happened if he had 101 yards and then he had a Jalen Waddle play at the end of the game where he runs back. He ran back 35 yards just to get buried by a defensive line. That would have been a devastating way to go out. But no, that's not how it goes out. We cash out some big cheese. And week one in terms of the unlocked fellas, fairly electric. I mean, Tiger's big bets, while he didn't go quite undefeated, it looked pretty good. Yep. He got an underdog with the USC, with South Carolina beating Texas A&M. Ohio State wins. Yeah, with ease. That game seemed like an absolute lock from the jump. And Tiger was on that one. Tiger was also on Ohio State money line. And he also was on Army. So the thing about Army, BB, as you told me, was what we didn't know the QB wasn't playing.
We didn't know the starting QB was inactive for Army. So that was a curveball. They still almost covered the 21.5. I think the final score was 20-3. Tiger did say it was going to be pure domination. He was thinking maybe 28-35 nothing at half. It wasn't quite that good, but they did look like the better team. And I think if we would have had their starting QB, I think that one probably would have cashed with these two.
Absolutely. To say the least, Tiger knows his college football, and I don't think that there's any doubt that Tiger is going to come back. And honestly, he told us not to parlay it. He did tell us, don't parlay this. He said to play straights, and if you play straights, you're officially up a little bit of cash. So shout out my man Tiger. Shout out the boys with the surgical parlay that just cashed out for some big cheddar. And shout out Maxie's Mortal Locks, who are now
We'll be back this week with another.
You think the boys are done? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If there's money out there to be made, we're going to make it shake and we're going to make it happen. The other person that we got to shout out today, my man Mike and my man Corey at Rogue Media, they gave us the opportunity to come back another week. They watched the first week. And I'm sure they had to have a couple conversations like, and are we sure we're going to keep these guys? Like, but now they decided, hey, you know what? We'll give them one more week. We'll give them one more day for a chance. Shout out my man Mike, my man Corey. Thank you guys so much at Rogue Media for sponsoring and bringing this show to the world and to the moon, baby. Next up, we are going to cover. We're coming back, baby. You think that was it on the Carolina Panthers?
No way.
The Panthers win at home 23-22. And we here in Charlotte right here are feeling really good. Bryce Young looks like he could be, he could be our quarterback of the future. I don't think that there's any debate anymore if we should start Andy Dalton. There is no more debate if we should be drafting, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. I think it's safe to say that Bryce Young is going to be our quarterback. We have so many other holes that we need to fill that it feels a lot better doing mock drafts knowing that you don't have to go and get a quarterback, right, BB?
Yeah, you can look at all sorts of positions for us. You can look at a playmaker like Travis Hunter, a D lineman like Mason Graham, James Pierce. So it's excited to be able to look at these types of players instead of looking at Carson Beck, Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward. I feel like that's been the story for the Panthers over the last couple of years is who's the top quarterback, who are we looking at. But no, we actually get to look at playmakers, players that can do exciting things with and without the ball. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. If you had to choose today, BB, let's say, I think right now the Carolina Panthers have the 4th overall pick. Who would you draft with that 4th pick? I would imagine 2 QBs would be gone, and then, potentially Travis Hunter's gone as well, unless somebody trades up. Do you think we should trade back with that 4th pick? Should we draft Mason Graham? Should we draft James Pierce? What you got for us?
Our defense definitely needs a complete overhaul, and D-line especially. So either of those guys I would take happily, James Pierce or Mason Graham. But I think we need more than one hole filled personally. So I think if we could trade back, maybe get 2 first-round picks like the Bears took from us that one year, either get another first pick in this draft or maybe next year. I think that would be the smart play because we need more than one player, like I said. But Mason Graham or James Pierce would be pretty hard. Especially actually Travis Hunter, I think would be the hardest to pass up because that would just bring juice to Charlotte. Like there would be so much life.
Yeah,
it'd be like a Cam Newton effect almost.
Oh, absolutely. Travis Hunter would bring certified aura to Charlotte. I just feel like though, like I've already done a couple mock drafts, and it just feels so much. It feels so much better trading back, like with that 4th pick. Yeah. If Travis Hunter's gone, if Travis Hunter's there, you take Travis Hunter, and there's really no debate in that. But if he's not there, then I think that we should trade back. And even if we don't get a second first-round pick this year, we might be able to get a first-round pick next year. Yep. Or we could definitely get another second-round pick for this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say we trade from 4 to, I don't know, like 10 or 11 or something like that. That's definitely worthy of getting at least a second-round pick this year, maybe even also a first-round pick next year. So now you pick in that range where you can get a multitude of guys. If we want to go and get a cornerback, we can go get the guy from Michigan. If we want to, draft a defensive, you think D-line certified?
Will Johnson and J.C. Horn would be a duo. Good luck passing against those 2 guys.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're not doing that. So like we could potentially do something like that, or we could also just draft. We could draft any position on defense, because we need literally every position. But the Carolina Panthers win nonetheless. We're not going to get into the sad talks of drafts just yet, because who knows? The Panthers could go for a nasty little run here. We could go for a little. We got the Giants this week at 9:30 in Germany. Then we have a bye week, and then we kind of get into somewhat of a gauntlet. We have to play the Chiefs. We have to play. Well, I guess the Cowboys aren't any. We might beat the Cowboys this year. The Falcons, we got to play them again. I think the Panthers have a chance, especially with Jalen Coker making plays, Xavier Legette looking like a certified wide receiver 1. And you know what? At this point, it's like, who cares about Deontay Johnson? I think we're good, BB.
We got a full youth movement in Charlotte. Leading tackle on defense was an undrafted free agent this year, rookie. So I think Dan Morgan, he's been knocking it out of the park so far with his first draft.
Absolutely.
We'll see if it continues. X scores every other week. It feels like every time I hop on Twitter, this guy's hopping on Dollar Bill. I mean, look,
I love it.
We still haven't seen Jonathan Brooks. We should expect big things out of him. He was the first RB off the board this year in the past draft. JT Sanders. The jury was still out on him for me, but this past game kind of solidified that he could be a good tight end in this league. I was always thinking he's kind of slow, but no, this guy caught it, hopped the man, hurdled him, and took it for 54 yards. And he put on a little bit of jets. He was moving there.
No, he had some speed.
Trevin Wallace, I think, still could be a hit for us. Jury's still out on him for me, but like I said, still think we need pieces on defense around him to really see what he's all about in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about our defensive line and our linebackers and even safety, we kind of need some overhaul there. Yep. It's like right now we have one cornerstone that is playing football, and that's J.C. Horn. And apparently on Twitter and reports are saying that we plan to make J.C. Horn our guy, and we're going to extend him as well as Chuba Hubbard. But we need Derrick Brown back in a bad way. And it's kind of crazy to think about how much of an effect Derrick Brown really has in the middle, because like last year we were not worried about our run defense, to be honest. And the only major difference in terms of our box, I mean, Frankie Louvu's gone, Brian Burns, but Brian Burns did not have that great of a season. Derrick Brown is the biggest piece that is gone, and now that he's out, we have one of the worst run defenses in the league. But let's get Mason Graham next to Derrick Brown or something.
Yeah, that would be a scary sight to see for sure. And I'm pretty sure Derrick Brown last year, he broke the record for most tackles ever by a D tackle. So that obviously shows how big of an impact he was for us and how big of a loss that really was for us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it hurts. It hurts to not have Derrick Brown, but it feels very, very good to beat the Saints. And I'm going to take it to the hill with that one. I do not like the New Orleans Saints, and I'm glad that we took them out of the bank. You know what I'm saying? But going on, we're going to talk about some of the best plays. Oh, you got something else for us on that one?
We were talking about the Panthers going into next week. Did you see the stat about Daniel Jones playing the Giants next week? Bringing up it. It was in between Daniel Jones' last passing touchdown in his home stadium and the one he had just this past week. The Kansas City Chiefs won 2 Super Bowls. In between his last 2 pass touchdowns at home. That is ridiculous.
I mean, bro, and they paid this man cheese. I want to beat the Giants. I think we can. That's
Super Bowls. Two Super Bowls in between his last 2 passing touchdowns at home. Get this team a quarterback, please.
Please. But we do have to play freaking Brian Burns again. But if Brian Burns goes for 4 sacks on Bryce Young, I'm going to be infuriated. That's one guy that we cannot let eat against us. But I will also say we're going to get a little more into the Chicago Bears at the later in this episode. But I love seeing the Chicago Bears lose. I mean, the way that their fans act on Twitter is beyond ridiculous and beyond me, because they fleeced us. And for some reason, they have a lot to say about Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know why they need a double win there. They clearly won the trade as of this point in their eyes. We'll see how Caleb Williams, we'll see how Bryce Young's careers play out. But they did get DJ Moore. They got Rome Odunze from the trade, and they got a whole other handful of players. So, and they like to let us know about it and act like they're some premier team in the league, when it seems they could be on a downward spiral here, even with all the talent they got.
They got absolutely embarrassed by my Arizona Cardinals, by my second favorite quarterback in the league, even though he had legitimately 4 fantasy points. That was infuriating. But moving on to some of the greatest plays of this weekend, I'm going to start us off, BB. We can go back and forth, and we will kind of just spew off some of our favorite plays from the weekend. And my first favorite play of the weekend is Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith versus the Eagles, and he had a nasty one hand in the 4th quarter. Jalen Hurts lobs it up. Give me that one hand in the end zone, 3rd and 22. That is going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars away, you might think. And there's a lot going on with Nick Sirianni. There's a lot going on with the Philadelphia Eagles, but the truth is they keep winning football games. And Devontae Smith, now for a couple weeks in a row, has been the exact reason why. What is one of your favorite plays of this week, BB?
One of my favorite plays. We stay in the same game. I don't know if I've ever seen a move quite like this. You guys can probably guess based on that little precept, but let's see. Ooh, shakes the defender, spins off another one. And
Saquon!
A backwards hurdle? How did he even know this guy was coming?
Bro, how do you see? I don't like how, just how?
Yeah.
Literally just how.
That's if I'm that defender, I don't want to get on Twitter for the next week or so.
For the next,
that's all I've seen is that clip.
Oh my God, BB, that's going to be a play for the next like 10 years plus. Like that play was legitimately ridiculous.
Three defenders had a chance on him, and I don't think they laid a finger on him.
No, they absolutely did not. I was saying this yesterday at Fremore Tavern. I do think Saquon Barkley is the most electrifying player in the entire league, and he potentially could be the very best player in the entire league. Like there are a couple of guys in the league that can have an effect like Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson being one, Justin Jefferson being two, and Saquon Barkley being the third. And I don't think anybody's touching those three guys in the league right now, BB.
I like that. That is, I'd say, usually it hasn't been Saquon in the years past because I feel like he's on the Giants, like we just said about Daniel Jones. The guy simply just, I guess he doesn't really throw touchdowns. Chiefs are getting 2 Super Bowls in between his most recent, but him being on the Eagles, a nasty O-line, we finally unlocked Saquon and gotten to see back from his rookie year all the explosive talent that he has.
Yeah, and it's very explosive. Speaking of explosive, one of my favorite plays of the weekend comes in overtime, comes in Seattle. Demarcus Robinson going deep. Matthew Stafford with an absolute seed, and Demarcus back of the end zone, and the Los Angeles Rams win on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks. And that play is probably the biggest reason why. We're going to get a little bit more into that game later on, but that play, BB, is simply ridiculous. Let's watch that one more time, please. As Matthew Stafford rolls left and just heaves one deep. He had one hand on the guy's head, the other going out here, and he touched it on him for the touchdown. And the Los Angeles Rams go into Seattle and win. And the Seattle Seahawks are now 1-5 in their last 6 games. BB, not sure if you knew that, but what is one of your favorite plays this week?
Another one. We're going for the local kid from Charlotte, North Carolina. What does he do?
Patting the ball.
Keeps the play alive.
Loads of time.
Zeros on the clock.
He'll run. A sidestep. He's ready to throw. Nobody's open. Into the end zone.
I mean, just absolute. Like, how does he keep it alive for that long? But we're gonna here. Can we watch this again? And please watch number 74 on the offensive line for the Patriots. Let me know what he's doing. He's right here.
I see him.
He'll roll. He'll run.
What is he doing this whole time?
What's he?
Dude, what is he doing? You know who that is? You know who that
Run
is?
that back, please. Who is it?
Michael Jordan. He was on the Panthers last year. Look at him, dude.
What is he looking at, bro?
He didn't touch a single tight in the entire play. Not one.
He actually is an NPC from did you ever play that Return Man 3 game on ESPN?
I don't think so.
Please.
Like the little mobile game?
Yes, bro. It was one of those games that you
yeah.
He looks actually NPC on that. What is that?
He didn't lay a finger on a single Titan. Like, jeez Louise, dude.
He started drooling.
Dude, Come on, Drake's back there running for his life, left, right, backwards, and this guy he's just standing there.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I got to give one more as an honorable mention. This guy is from Asheville, North Carolina, and he went from one of potentially the worst drops to one of the greatest catches of the weekend, and it's Rico Dowdle. I've done it again, Bullseye. Let's run it back from the start. Dak Prescott, it is 2nd and goal. They're down 11, stepping around. Dak making a play. Oh, no, he dropped it. Wait. Oh, he's got it in the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are an absolute dumpster fire, though. And while that play was great, not much else was great from the Dallas Cowboys game on Sunday. And you know what, BB? Let's go ahead and get on into that game. The Falcons versus the Cowboys, where Kirko throws for 3 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys. And this team is a classic example of a QB away from being a contender. Last year, they had the same weapons other than Darnell Mooney, who is starting to look like a potential wide receiver 1, but they had Drake London. They had Kyle Pitts. They had Bijan Robinson. They had Jesse Bates on the defensive side of the ball, and they weren't good enough. They didn't make the playoffs. The Carolina Panthers split games with them, and you know what? We have the chance to do that again, but this year, they're looking like they may run away with the NFC South. Kirko Chains has completely embodied Atlanta, where he's walking into your trap and taking over your trap, as well as some other quotes from Kirk. What was the other one that he had? That was just...
I had to stop watching the video. It was making me mad. I had to click off it.
The Falcons fans love it. And you know what? When you throw 3 touchdowns, when you throw for 226 yards, I think he threw for yesterday, and you get a win versus the Cowboys, you can kind of be a little weird like that and do whatever you want, especially when your team's on the way to winning the NFC South and on their way to the playoffs. But the Dallas Cowboys, on the other side of things, you know, Mike McCarthy's on his final leg. There's stuff on Twitter of Dak Prescott literally saying, "We fucking suck," to his teammate. And while the team blows, all fingers seem to be pointing towards Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys and the general manager, with the way that he has handled everything in Dallas. You know, in the offseason, he's literally flying a helicopter in the middle of practice and landing it on the field. These guys, and now the team has lost a boatload amount of games. Dak Prescott apparently is going to be out for a couple of weeks with his hamstring injury. It's like, this team is not looking good. Mike McCarthy's on his last year of his contract, and I could see – I mean, it's not I could see – Jerry Jones is going to send him packing. The only person that needs to apparently be packing is Jerry Jones, according to the fans in Dallas. BB, what is your take on the Dallas Cowboys, on the Atlanta Falcons, on the NFC South race? Just break it all down for us, man.
Yeah, in terms of the Falcons and the NFC South, I think they will run away with it. I mean, our division it's rather weak compared to the rest of the league, so I think they should win that one pretty easily with their record so far compared to the rest of the league's record. I mean, the Buccaneers gave them their best run for their money, but with Mike Evans down, Chris Godwin down, don't really see them continuing to – and they play the Chiefs tonight. Don't really see them being able to win that one. So Falcons should win the division with ease, even though I said they were frauds and don't really believe in them. I think come playoff time, they play a good team. I think they will get exposed pretty handily. They've been in too many close games, one-score games in almost every single one of their games, and they've played the Panthers, the Saints, Buccaneers without Godwin Evans. Like these are below-average teams. They're somehow letting them hang around. I mean, they obviously do have the players, like you said, but I think they're an elite QB away from being a real powerhouse. And in terms of the Cowboys, I did see a clip. Jerry Jones said he had full faith in the locker room still, and full faith still in the coaching staff. Don't know how much we are going to be able to believe that because Dak's out the next couple of weeks, and without Dak, I really don't see how they get any wins at all. Cooper Rush is just – he's not a guy. And I did see another Trayvon Diggs clip this week. Dan Orlovsky was reacting to it. It was straight up – it was going to be man-to-man coverage across the board. And Trayvon Diggs was confused pre-play. He was like running around, like throwing his hands up, like who's mine? Clearly, there's one wide receiver that didn't have a guy on him. He finally got lined up, and it was Darnell Mooney. Hike. Darnell Mooney's in the end zone. Trayvon Diggs is running after him, throwing his hands up. Like, what are we doing? Like, and Dan Orlovsky was like, "That is your man. Like, what are you throwing your hands up for?" So, clearly, all
zone coverage. Yeah,
all cylinders aren't clicking in Dallas, and I think they can. Last week we said it was the next 3 weeks for huge, starting off with an L, and now no Dak for the next couple weeks moving forward. I think it's pretty safe to say you can chalk this one up.
Yeah, it seems like you can chalk it up for the Cowboys, but I feel like the only arguing point that Mike McCarthy has at this point is the fact that Micah Parsons, I haven't had my guy on defense, and now, it extends into the next following weeks where he's not going to have Dak Prescott. But I mean, that doesn't matter, man. Not if you're the Dallas Cowboys, not if you're, apparently America's team, right? And you're now what are they 3-6? Is that right, or 3-5? They're either 3 and 6.
I think they've already had their bye week. I think they're 3-5. But the next 2 weeks, I think they're taking L's.
Yeah. Who do you, they got who do they have coming up?
We previewed it last week. Let's see if I still got it. No, I don't know. I don't know that. I know they played Atlanta, and then 2 weeks I thought they were going to win, but I don't care who they're playing the next 2 weeks. They have almost zero run game with Rico Dowdle. Even though we like Rico Dowdle, local guy, they have almost zero run game. And then now without Dak, they're going to have almost zero pass game. Even though you get Micah Parsons back, you got to score points, and don't see it happening.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with CeeDee Lamb. We'll see what happens with that offense. But I mean, that offense has honestly already been struggling with Dak Prescott at the helm, and without Dak Prescott, I can only see it getting worse. Do you think that they potentially go to Trey Lance instead of Cooper Rush, or is Cooper Rush likely going to be the guy that they leave? I mean, Trey Lance has not played football. He was a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I hear you, but last time we saw Trey Lance in a preseason game, he threw 5 interceptions. Like, I don't care who you're playing against or what the game means. You can't throw 5 picks. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a full game. I think it was just a half of football. He threw 5 interceptions. Like, dude.
We talk a lot about Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston can throw himself some interceptions, and he did just that this week. But Trey Lance throwing 5 picks in one half, that's certified.
Also, I saw another clip of the Falcons-Cowboys game. It was like the first third down of the game. They motioned Bijan over. It was man-to-man coverage, and you would think somebody from the Cowboys would follow Bijan over in motion, but no, they just did a quick, easy check down behind 3 blockers. Bijan picked up the first down, and then Dan Orlovsky broke it down. He said, wait a second. Why is nobody following this guy? Counted up the defenders. Cowboys got 10 players on the field. They're a man short first third down of the game. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's the kind of stuff that gets the coach fired. To be honest,
that can't happen. A man short on third down, first drive. How do we not have 11 players on the field?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. We've lost multiple games in a row now, and we need a win in a bad way. And on the first third down, we got 10 players on the field. Yeah, right. That's not good enough. That's not acceptable. But we're going to stay in the NFC, but we're going to move on to the Cardinals versus the Bears. The Cardinals get a big win at home versus the Bears, 29-9, and James Conner ran all over the Chicago Bears. And James Conner, they might start calling him Quavo because that man is slippery. Excuse me, please me. The Cards are above 500 for the first time since 2021. They just traded today for Baron Browning from the Broncos. I believe they gave up a 6th-round pick. This team is looking at the playoffs. They believe in Kyler Murray. They believe in James Conner. They believe in Gannon and this defense as well. And their coach, Jonathan Gannon said, hey, we've got some leaders. We got some leaders in the locker room. We got guys, they don't play. They're not here to mess around. Like, this is real deal. And I think that this team has the chance to make it to the playoffs. They're currently in the lead in the NFC West, and I believe that they that they have a chance to go on and catch a couple of dubs. BB, what do you think about the Cardinals?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think they're in a very winnable division, like you said, with the Seahawks dropping they've won or lost 5 out of their last 6,
Yep.
and the Rams. I'm not exactly sure what their record is, but it's nothing crazy. So they're in a position to win the division for sure. And like you mentioned earlier, Kyler Murray only has 4 fantasy points, but because he simply didn't need to do any more. These guys ran all over the Chicago Bears, and I have a stat for you. The Bears allowed, I think it was 213 yards and 3 tutties on the ground. Teams in the NFL this year, if you allow over 200 yards rushing, they are 1-19. So basically, if you allow over 200 yards rushing, you can pretty much chalk it up. The other team's winning.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened this week. I mean, I would love it if Kyler Murray, put up more points, more touchdowns, more crazy throws that he can make. But yeah, like you said, he literally didn't have to. The Chicago Bears gave up a 40-yard touchdown at the end of the half on 3rd and 4, where Kyler Murray just handed the ball off to DeMarcado and he just takes off. And it's like, bro, there's 8 seconds left on the clock. We cannot give up a 40-yard rushing touchdown if we're the Chicago Bears. That's the kind of stuff that's happening. Last week, it was the Hail Mary, where a guy is over here, taunting the fans, where Tyreek Stevenson is taunting the fans and talking about, this game's over. And then next thing you know, he gets one put on his head. And now this week, right before the half, we're trying to get a big win on the road. We have to get a win on the road. I believe the Bears have been struggling big time on Sunday on the road with Matt Eberflus at the helm. I cannot remember the exact stat right now, and we give up a touchdown at the end of the half. Like, that's unacceptable. We cannot have that. And, Chicago Bears fans are honestly calling for Eberflus's job. They want him out of here. This team has too much talent. They had 2 top 10 picks from last year. They signed Keenan Allen. They have DJ Moore over there. Well, it looks like DJ Moore might not want to be in Chicago for much longer. He literally walks off the field on one of the plays honestly, I can see why, because Caleb Williams is rolling left. DJ Moore is running by himself where we can get a first down. Caleb Williams decides to get sexy and spectacular, turns around for no reason, and just kind of starts running around. It's like, I'm gonna just take a seat here, man. I'm not doing this shit. Not with you, not today.
Yeah.
So there's too much talent. It seems like there's a problem going on in Chicago. BB, what is your take on the Chicago Bears this season?
Like you said, the touchdown before half, especially when the Cardinals seem like they're kind of just conceding the half, just gonna hand the ball off, let the clock roll out, and we give up. I think it was a 53-yarder to the third string running back. That's just absolutely can't happen, especially a week after giving up the Hail Mary for the win. But Keenan Allen, they have 9 points in the game, only 3 field goals. Especially after Caleb Williams at the beginning of the season was telling his punter, "You're not going to be punting much," and your team can't even score a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 10 targets, only 4 catches. DJ Moore, 9 targets, only 4 catches. Those are 2. They could be Pro Bowl receivers in a different offense. Obviously not in this one, but we can't be missing Pro Bowl receivers that much, and we got to be able to score with these types of weapons on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Chicago is in a real tough pickle right now because this was supposed to be their window. They went out and got Keenan Allen for a reason. They went out and drafted Rome Odunze for a reason. And I'm not saying Caleb Williams is poop, but Jaden Daniels damn sure looks a lot better. And so does Drake May. Drake May has came in and he looks better than Caleb Williams as well already. And I feel like half of it is play calling. Some of the plays that they call are doo-doo. Last year, DJ Moore with Justin Fields was a dog, and now all of a sudden, where's DJ Moore?
Yeah,
is he part of your offense or not?
Weird.
And so I think that's kind of what they're facing in Chicago. And hey, part of it could be Caleb Williams just isn't seeing it, and that's very surprising. As a lot of people had Caleb Williams, including myself, as the top quarterback, but some people had this man as God. in Chicago.
Literally.
Like some people had this man as the nail painted god. So it's looking tough in Chicago, but there were some better games out there this week, right, BB? I mean, Rams versus Seahawks was a pretty spectacular game. At first, it looked a little ugly, like it wasn't, the most fun game to watch. I think it was like 6-3 for a little while at one point, but then in the second half, it got juicy.
Yeah.
Geno Smith threw 2 unacceptable interceptions in the red zone, but that doesn't matter because he throws the 1 pick six, 103 yards going the other way. Rams are officially winning, and then they get the ball back. The Rams do a block punt just like that. Geno Smith throws another pick. But the thing about Geno is you can't write him off because he won't write back. Smith-Njigba had a huge reception at the end of the game, and then another one into the end zone. Now it's 20-20. It seems like the Seahawks could somehow pull this game out of their arse for a big win at home. But then in overtime, as we showed earlier, Demarcus Robinson with an absolute delicious catch at the end of the game. And the Los Angeles Rams get the win on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks. And just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, is Cooper Kupp about to get traded? Is he going to be gone? And now all of a sudden, bang, this team has an opportunity to be in the playoffs. Honestly, I mean, this is a wide open NFC West, BB. How do you feel about the Los Angeles Rams and the seeds that Matty Stafford throws around the yard?
Yeah, it's like you said, that division. Any of those top 3 teams could win it. I think with the Rams, Seahawks, and
Cardinals and 49ers.
Cardinals, and 49ers getting McCaffrey back. This division is crazy. So it's gonna be exciting to watch coming down the stretch. But Geno, the INTs, they definitely costed the Seahawks that game. But I think there's optimism to be excited for the Seahawks. That was probably – actually, no, that was JSN's best game as a professional. And if you saw the picture of his route tree, it wasn't just any specific routes he was eating on. This guy's route tree was all over. He touched every blade of grass. So they were finding ways to get him the ball with DK out, and I think that's a reason to be excited. And that makes you wonder, could DK be gone? He is under contract till 2025, but I don't know. I feel like there's flares in Seattle. He doesn't really seem happy in most of the games he's been playing. But I think the Seahawks have the pieces to be a really good team. They got Kenneth Walker, great running back, Jackson Smith-Njigba, great receiver. DK Metcalf obviously just said he might be gone, but he's still a great receiver. Then on defense, Tariq Woolen, I think he's the one that gave up the TD, but he's been a pretty well-renowned cornerback around the league, pretty good. Then they took Devon Witherspoon, first-round pick. So these guys have the skill position players to be an elite football team. Obviously, you can't throw 2 picks in the second half and expect to win, even though they still had a chance. But you know how it goes in OT. Whichever team gets the ball, and they pretty much win it. Those guys score every time. Yeah. So whoever wins the coin flip. But in terms of the Rams, I feel like Matt Stafford keeps you in every ball game. Like, it doesn't matter who he's got. He keeps you in the ball game. Even with Puka getting ejected in the first half, or it might have been early second half, but I know Puka got ejected. I think it was the first half. Him to Cooper Kupp, that will feed families, no matter how old these guys are. I mean, it's a connection that pretty much unbreakable. So, there's reason to be excited for both teams. And with the division wide open, I don't see why not. It's going to be exciting to watch down the stretch.
I completely agree. And you mentioned a good point. Could DK Metcalf be on the move? That is something that has really just generated recently. I think Pittsburgh Steelers fans really want DK in Pittsburgh. People are randomly bringing that up. I could absolutely see DK just staying in Seattle. Yeah. But the young talent, like you said, they say that's how you build a team, and they have plenty of young talent in Seattle. And, you could get some really good comp for DK. But if you do that, you're kind of saying, all right, we're done with this season. And they have lost 5 of their last 6 games, but they're still in the hunt too. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Seattle Seahawks do, because Njigba is clearly beginning to elevate himself into that wide receiver one that everybody knew he could be.
Yeah, seeing a good league mate, Max LaCroix, trade away Njigba, and then Njigba having a career day. Those are things you love to see.
Absolutely love
You
to
just
see
love to see that. You love to see Max LaCroix suffer on the Fantasy Football League. Thanks for watching, Max.
Thanks for watching, chap. Thanks. Another great game this week. The Philadelphia Eagles played the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Philadelphia Eagles go in and win. They don't cover, but they do win. And you know what? This game was home to two of our favorite plays from the week, and with Saquon Barkley making legitimately the greatest play maybe ever. I mean, dude, like jumping over a guy backwards, I can't even explain how ridiculous that really is.
Yeah, that's a
but
first.
Yeah, that's absolutely a first, and I'm not kidding. It's probably a last. And Devontae Smith, Devontae Smith with an immaculate catch in the fourth quarter to put the Philadelphia Eagles up 2 scores, but there's still question marks in Philly around Nick Sirianni. In the first half, Nick Sirianni, I think the score was 16-0. They could have gone up 3 scores. Instead, Nick Sirianni decides, you know what? Fuck it, let's go for 2. It's like, why? Eagles fans are literally like, why, bro? Because going up 18 versus 17, I'm not sure what analytics says that really boosts your chance to win the game versus being up 17. But Nick Sirianni makes a crazy move there. And then in the second half, they go for it on 4th and 1 instead of going up 2 scores with a field goal, and they don't get that either. And now they give the Jacksonville Jaguars a chance to win the game, and Eagles fans aren't big fans of that. But sometimes when you have guys like Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, some big-time playmakers on defense as well, it doesn't matter what you do as a coach because you have the best athletes on the field. But still, at some point, when you have to go up against some other great teams in the NFC and in the NFL, that's not going to work, Sirianni. We can't be doing stuff like that. And if you lose this game, people would be absolutely furious, BB.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, Trevor Lawrence throws a late interception to Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean seals the game, and it was a bad throw. I'm going to be honest. It was not a good throw from T-Law, and they probably should – no, not probably. They should have won that game. And it seems to be a dumpster fire in Jacksonville, and a piece of it seems to be Trevor Lawrence. He was supposed to be Jacksonville's Jesus. We talk about Caleb Williams. He's supposed to be Jacksonville's Jesus, and there's only one Jesus. Well, you know how it goes. We're joking here. Jesus in Jacksonville, and he's kind of been pooped. BB, how do you feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars now 2-6, 2-7 potentially? How do they go and draft the QB at this point? Like, what's the deal?
I don't think they'll draft a QB. They just gave Trevor Lawrence, I think it was north of $250 million. The money these quarterbacks gets is it's pretty crazy. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier in the week when we were previewing that game, Trevor Lawrence somehow seems to be getting worse every year. After they had a big playoff win against the Chargers a couple years ago, and since then it's just been like what are we doing in Jacksonville? And they're five of their losses this year are by 5 or less points, so they're staying in the ball games. But just simply, he never seems to be able to get the job done. So it's pretty disappointing. And then in terms of the Eagles, we have a friend of the show, Braden Robertson, huge Eagles fans. We asked his thoughts on Nick Sirianni after the game yesterday. He said some whatever that word is, some bad words about Nick Sirianni. And I think he's fed up with him, and I think he continues to get bailed out, all his bad decisions by this superstar roster he's got. So and Eagles fans, even at the stadium, are fed up with him. He's getting booed at home, and his team's winning. So it's just a weird situation to be in. He's got a top 3 RB. He's got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, a superstar loaded defense. This guy's still getting booed at home, making crazy decisions. I don't know if you can fire this guy with how well the Eagles do every year, but maybe they do because of the fans' reactions to him. I'm not sure how I feel. Do you know how the players in the locker room feel about him? I don't know if I've heard anything.
I mean, I think that winning cures everything. So I feel like
Yeah.
there's just no way that they're genuinely like get this guy out of here when we're 6-2. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't really make sense. I feel like the Eagles fans just seem out of control. They seem crazy. Like I feel like Sirianni is probably on a short leash because of the decisions that he makes. And if they started, losing late, like if there's somehow, some way they don't make the playoffs, oh yeah, Sirianni's gone. If they lose in the first round in the playoffs versus like the Falcons or something, he could be gone in that case too.
I mean, they lost first round of the Bucks last year.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's a weird. They seem dominant in the regular season. They went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Like,
yeah,
it's just weird. Like, obviously they're a good football team, but the fans are just fed up with them. It's weird.
Yeah, you just can't fire Sirianni. Like he literally took the team to the Super Bowl. He's been to the playoffs the last 2 years. Like they have great players. They have an offense that seems to be working. I don't know if it was him or Shane Steichen last year that came up with the whole push thing, but he literally Philadelphia is home of the most unstoppable play in the league. Like you can't fire Sirianni. You can't fire Sirianni.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with that, but it's definitely a thing to pay attention to. See how it goes.
Yeah, it definitely is something to keep an eye out on. We'll rapid fire go through our results from the games this week, and so the Carolina Panthers, BB picked the New Orleans Saints, surprisingly enough, and the Carolina Panthers win. So we'll take that 1-1 W there.
That's just a win. That's a win-win pick for me. If the Panthers get blown out, hey, I got my pick right. The Panthers win. We're a happy camper. It is shocking, but prior to the game, I did not know that New Orleans was going to be without their top 3 corners, and then shortly into the game with Olave going down, they were down their top 3 receivers. So the Saints are definitely shorthanded, but it is good to see a win. For sure.
And absolutely. Yeah. Thoughts and prayers are definitely out for Chris Olave, who it just seems like he gets put in some rough situations. Like he gets rocked, man. And I hate to see it for Chris Olave. You were telling me pre-show that Michael Thomas was going at Derek Carr for some of the death balls, hospital balls that he throws Chris Olave. And Chris Olave, what did you say? Chris Olave's brother.
Yeah, Chris Olave's brother quote tweeted the tweet saying that Derek Carr is booty and throws hospital balls. Chris Olave's brother said 100. So clearly the Olave family might not be happy with their current situation in New Orleans. Don't know if that means Derek Carr is getting shipped out or Olave's demanding out, because I'm pretty sure he's under contract, signed a big deal with them for years to come. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thoughts are definitely up to him, and he's got to consider his future. But if Tua's back out there, anybody can get back out there, to be completely honest. So hopefully Chris Olave – hey, if he gets traded to another squad, I would like him that much more, because I don't like the Saints, but I love Chris Olave. So let's see what happens with Chris Olave. Next game, the Buffalo Bills. I believe we both took the Bills in this one, correct, BB?
Yep, I did.
And we both took the L in that one. So I am 1-1. BB is 0-2. The Baltimore Ravens cover for everybody in the world, and we both took that.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns were rough. They got smashed. Jameis Winston. Hey, that's just what you get with Jameis Winston. One game, it's like, oh my God, I freaking love Jameis Winston. The next game, he throws 3 picks, and it should have been 4. One was literally right in the guy's chest, you said, BB.
I hit him in the numbers. Hit the defender in the numbers. There was not a Cleveland Brown in sight.
Yeah, which is, it's like, come on, man. Come on, Jameis. Get it together. Unwavering faith, though, from Jameis Winston. Best of luck to him down the stretch, as well as Cedric Tillman, who's been an absolute dog for the fantasy football
league winner, some would say.
The league winner, some would say. Cincinnati Bengals. We both took the Bengals -7. That's a clear cover. I'm starting to see a common theme here, BB. If a team is favored big time a lot of times they smash their opponent. I mean, especially I guess the Eagles should have smashed the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Absolutely.
That was just mental. But anyways, the Commanders, they get their win. They get their cover by 1 point versus the Giants. Jaden Daniels he proves me wrong every week. He proves me wrong every single week, and he does it again. We already talked about the Falcons. They get a big win at home. They're running away with the division. Tennessee Titans in a thriller versus the New England Patriots. We both said, BB, that this was going to be the worst game of this season. It ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I said I watched it, but I saw Drake May's final play. That was electric.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they went to overtime, and when all the other games were over, they kind of finally turned that one on and put it on the screening. And you know what? I watched the end of that game, and Drake May, he threw a straight up lollipop.
Yeah, dude, the receiver had him beat, and I wish that would have been an unbelievable throw if that one gets completed, but it looked like it was 15 yards short.
Yeah, that one was pretty short. The Arizona Cardinals covered big time versus the Chicago Bears. The Philadelphia Eagles, who should have covered by a lot, lose. In the game of the week, ended up that game was kind of poop. I mean,
the weather. I was not expecting the weather to be that bad, but it poured for 4 quarters.
Yeah,
so that game wasn't as fun as it should have been to watch. Detroit proves a lot of haters wrong, saying they can only play in a dome. They go to the worst weather game of the year, probably by far, and dominating fashion win.
Yeah, and Dan Campbell had something to say about that in his interview after the game. He was like, "Man, we're just built for this. Like, I don't really know what y'all are talking about, bro. Like, we're built for this." And
they're good. They're so good. They're so good.
They continue to steamroll people every single week. And honestly, the game looked worse than from what I saw, worse than 24-14.
The Packers scored a late touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So
there it is. Yeah, that's exact. There it is. And Jordan Love, he does it every week. He throws a ridiculous pick in the first half. Like, what was that pick that he threw? That was fairly sad. But normally he comes back and throws 4 touchdowns, so it's kind of like, all right, we're cool with Jordan Love. But in a game like this versus a really good team, you do that same thing. You're not coming back and throwing 4 touchdowns. And now the question is, it's not, all right, we have both sides of the ball. We got the picks and the touchdowns. He still goes for 30 fantasy points. Now it's just like, all right, what was that? Do we have a guy in Jordan Love? And I think the answer is yes, but that was ugly. The Rams cover in overtime with oh boy, God, I'm tripping all over myself here. The Rams cover on the road versus the Seahawks with an amazing, was the word I was looking for, play from Demarcus Robinson at the end of that game, and they are now in the hunt for the division right behind the Arizona Cardinals. The Vikings on Sunday Night Football, that was a weird game.
Yeah, weird game. It was getting late. I turned it off.
Yeah, no,
I turned it off.
Yeah, I had Josh Downs. I had Jonathan Taylor. Couldn't get nothing. I mean, absolutely couldn't get nothing. And the big conversation's been Joe Flacco is going to be the guy, and we're going to look so much better. And it's like, man, Joe Flacco would look exactly how you said, BB. He looked like a refrigerator out there.
That's what I said. Yeah, I mean, you knew the Vikings were going to be bringing the blitzes. That's what they do. And a guy like Joe Flacco, I think I'm faster than him.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm faster than him, and he can't move. If you bring any kind of pressure, sure, he can throw some pretty footballs. He's got a good motion. He's still got an arm strength, but he can't move. He simply can't move.
Yeah, and I could see it getting a lot better, down the stretch. But I wish Anthony Richardson didn't tap out last week, because I feel like he at least would have played in this game, because that can't be the QB versus a team. Like, Flacco cannot be the QB versus a team that blitzes hot left and right, because he's a statue. He cannot move. And Anthony Richardson at least would have been able to, escape and make some run. I don't know. He would have been able to do something. But that is the slate for this weekend. BB, we're going to also rapid fire. What you got in that Kansas City Chiefs game? I believe the Chiefs are favored by 9 points, maybe?
Yeah, like we said last week, best team in football until proven otherwise. They win somehow, some way every week. Buccaneers are very shorthanded without their 2 best players on offense. don't see how the Buccaneers win it unless Baker Mayfield throws for 300 and runs for 100 too. I mean, there's just no way. College basketball starting tonight, though. Tar Heels, let's go.
Who the Tar Heels got tonight?
Elon.
Okay.
But we go to Kansas. Our next game is at Kansas, at the number 1 team on Friday night. So pumped for that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be that one's gonna. I'll be tuned into that one. I haven't been doing too much college b-ball recently, but the big games and March Madness, I'll definitely lock into. Who's the guy that you're looking out for this year? Is it? I mean, I assume RJ Davis is back for his 8th.
Yeah,
season?
he's back for his 12th year. I think he's got another year of eligibility next year. Should be coming back. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't. But he is front runner for National Play of the Year. It's him and Cooper Flagg. So we'll see who does it. And I'm expecting a big year from the Heels.
And Cooper Flagg is literally he hasn't played a single play in college basketball, right?
No college basketball for that guy. But he's supposed to be the truth, and they said he could have been on the USA team. So we'll see.
Okay. All right, so we got some hoops coming at you. That's going to be something that we cover now on Unlocked with Key and BB. And hey, this was a great Monday, dude. This was a great. Yep. I mean, Mondays are always fun, especially when it's a victory Monday, and you get, dude. This is so much more fun. I feel like when the Panthers win.
Yeah, can you imagine if we were actually a good football team? The show would be great.
This show would be legendary. I mean, hey, BB, you don't know, man.
We got the youth movement. We got the youth movement.
That's what I'm saying. We got the young guys that you got to build through the draft. I mean, hey, this could be the start of something new, and it feels so right to be here with you. Let's go, Panthers. Let's go, Panthers.
See if we can stack another dub this week versus the Giants. See if we can stack another one.
Hey, if we go 2-0 in the last 2 weeks into the bye week, Carolina Panthers Twitter could get pretty rowdy. we could get pretty rowdy. Let's real quick. I mean, we'll get out of here in a sec, but let's look at who the Panthers have to close this season out. And I remember Max LaCroix has the under on the Carolina Panthers win total. Officially, he took midseason. But we've got the Giants next week. I think we could win
2.5. Did he take what was the win total? 2.5 or 3.5?
3.5.
We only need 2 more. Let's go.
We only need 2 more. I think the Giants. We can get the Giants.
We can get the Giants. We can get the Giants.
The Chiefs. We're not going to win that one. That would be literally ridiculous if we beat the Chiefs. We're not going to.
Nope.
The Buccaneers at home. I mean, I think
Mike Evans should be back by then. Godwin, no. Mike Evans should be, but I think that would be the first week he can be back is that game. Without those guys, it is possible.
It's possible we get that one.
I
think we'll split with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers kind of own us, but I think we could potentially split with the Buccaneers. Then we go into Philadelphia where Saquon Barkley is going to run for 400 yards on us, and we're going to lose that game. Cowboys, we could beat the Cowboys. We absolutely, at this point, could beat the Cowboys.
Especially with Cooper Rush under center.
Yeah, with Cooper Rush, we could.
Unless Rico Dowdle. If Rico Dowdle gives us $150 and 2 tutties, then we got a problem. I mean, we already have a problem. But
we got a lot of problems. But then we play the Cardinals. And I can't say we're going to beat the Cardinals, but, put JC on Marvin Harrison Jr. and let's strap these pads up and let's play. You know what I mean? And let's see what we can do. Then we got at the Buccaneers in week 17 and then at the Falcons to close it out. And I think Max is in some trouble. And anybody else that took the under on the Panthers win total, I think that they're all in trouble. Because we get Jonathan Brooks back this week. Offense is starting to, since second half of the Broncos game, the offense is kind of starting to do something with Bryce Young at the helm, but we'll see.
Yep. We'll see.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 6 of Unlocked Monday.
Episode 6. That's crazy. 2 weeks or now in our second week. That's crazy.
This guy, I thought we didn't.
Elon is my mortal money line. I'm pretty sure UNC is favored by 30.
Like, what happened to not just tossing out? You're ruining the integrity of the mortal locks, bro.
Yeah, that's we can't have that in the chat.
Can't
We
have
we want to have a good reputation for the mortal lock. We're going to need you to be a little more responsible in that.
But another great episode. Yeah,
Who's
like
the-
you said, we're already into week 2, episode 6. This is electric.
I'm looking it up real quick. Who does Duke play tonight? I think Duke plays too.
Yeah, they do. Forgot who Max said.
They play Maine. Yeah, give me Maine. Give me Maine.
I mean, I kind of want to see this Cooper Fly guy. He could have been on the USA team.
Okay, the over in this Duke Maine game is only 130. Surely Duke should score around 100, right, Max? That means Maine's only got to score 30 points. Like, come on. I mean, that's it, Max. That could be the next mortal, man. You never know.
Over 130.
I mean, I was looking at the over in the Carolina game. It's like 150, and in the last preseason game Carolina played, we scored 130 points. So obviously it wasn't versus Elon, but I don't know. I feel like UNC usually they can run up the score. They run up and down the court, so I could see them scoring around 100 points. That means Elon's only got to score 50. I don't know. I might take that.
You might mess with. I mean, you do have a fortune sitting in your flip account or flip
No,
account right now.
it's already been withdrawn.
Cashed.
It's been cashed out. Gotta get those free dollars rolling again.
Oh my gosh, bro. All right, let's get the heck up out of here. That was another great episode. Appreciate you guys coming out to watch. We'll make it short today. Won't make you hold your OBB. But hey, just keep grinding. Stacking days, stacking bricks. 1-0 once again today. We got basketball tonight. We got Monday Night Football. Hope you guys have had a great weekend and a great start to your week. And we're going to be right back here tomorrow, guys. Right back here tomorrow. And we'll see you right here. Tick, tick, tick.
Boom.
Later.
Well,